Voch Raboisai. There's a lot of guests here. Wow. Sheesh. Shalom Aleichem to all the guests. I'm not going to go through everybody. A lot of young guys. All right, we'll start. Actually, I had here some merch. Let's see if I have merch. Oh, it's not going to be enough. Take some, pass it down. Just take one each. Let's go. We got merch. I know. Last night I was like.
These will hurt somebody's eye.
Meanwhile, we'll read some emails. Like so many people that you speak about every day, my life has been dramatically changed by the daf. I went to yeshiva for 8 years, then public high school and college, and it keeps on going. I'm pretty sure that I've missed less than 10 shiurim in the past 10 years of Daf Yomi. More than a month ago, I received an email shouting, "Get your free Gemara for Daf Yomi." Being a normal Jew, the price seemed right. Like so many others have said, it has changed my life. It's a long email, here it is. And he says, this month, Baruch Hashem, I turned 70. I can say unequivocally that the Daf Yomi has subtracted decades from my age. 70 years old, decades. I'm invigorated to know that in mere 7 years, I'll have been exposed to the entire Shas. I was quite touched by yours and others' outpouring of tzedakah to ensure that the next Merkaz art scroll Daf Yomi Gemara will become a reality. I'm not sure if you raised the entire amount yet. If so, great. If not, I've just sent you $1,000. Your Talmud, Yossi Razner Yeshar Koyach. Guys, Yosef Goldberger. My name is Yossi Goldberger. I live in Houston. I was referred to Yeshua by Hillel Boyer, Rami Berkowitz, Shalom Rand. I made it through Rosh Hashana and Tainus, doing Megillah now. I can't be prouder with myself. I never pictured myself as a learning guy, but now I look forward to each day to your shir. One of my siyumim, Yaakov Dorfman, was inspired and decided to start Tainus. He's now finished Tainus. Very good. Yossi Goldberger. Stefansky Optic. I guess there's such a thing. Since the beginning of Maseches Megillah, I joined your shir. Unfortunately, the shir is at the same time like Shachris and Basel. So we are from Switzerland originally. So here's a Stefansky from Switzerland. Stefansky Optic. A boy said, get your glasses at Stefansky Optic in Basel. As you know, all Stefanskys are mishpacha. Yeah, I know. I think your grandfather was Refuah from Bnei Brak. My father's Ephraim, twin brother from Refuah. So here's my grandfather's twin's kid. Unbelievable. What's the name of your father? Reb Yankiv. I'm looking forward to see you in real life. Next time I'm in Israel. Have a wonderful day. Piנחas. I keep it in the mishpacha. Michael Zagi. He says, LA. Here we go. My name is Michael Zagi. A while ago, I bumped into Hil Kamiansky in LA. We went to high school together. It's another one of your guys. Hil, you're the Hillels. Hillel Boyer and Hil Kamiansky. Unbelievable. Bekitzer, he said, I'm not a daf guy, but I watched the sale pitch video. I don't know what he's referring to. I guess there's a sale pitch video. The magic of MDY or something, that one. Was impressed with the energy you bring to the shir, having all the guys. Oh, Rabbi Isai, I forgot to print this picture. The chesed outpouring that the Olam was doing for Yidi Leibowitz. The candy, the gifts, the money. People want to know if they need money, if they need a cleaning lady. The whole, it's unbelievable. MDY chesed. No, it's either good or bad. It's not the same. I was a boy in high school, didn't have a learning drive, and wasn't keeping Yiddishkeit 100% to say the least. Ended up in Neve Tzion, Bes Rabbeim, Telstone. I know that place well. I was worried about how... Kids, I prayed by Rav Ovadia Yosef for Slichot and cried so much for you. I said to myself, here I am. I'm here for Akiva. I know the pain. I saw my father's pain. So Baruch Hashem, I'm about to finish Tainus. Go one more with Megillah. See what these are older emails. Last thing. Okay, take it from a pro. Baba Sali Arak is real. Kivri Tzadikim are real. Umar Rosh Hashana is real. Tziyonim are real. Love you, all the best. Okay? He's a Tzioni? Who, what? He's Persian.
And he spoke about
Yeah. And here's from Lauren. Where's Lauren tonight? He's not here? Oi, I forgot your sefer, Mr. Feder. Ay. But anyways, this is a good one. Rabbi Milunowitz, who's was the head editor for all Art Scroll Shas. And he's a tremendous Talmid Chacham. We miss him dearly. He's a Rav up the block here. He's just nifter. Someone asked him if we're allowed to daven that the exchange rate should go up. Rabbi Milunowitz said no. We daven for Parnasa, but we don't tell HaKadosh Baruch Hu how to do it. I like it. What do you care if it's whether the exchange rate goes up or your business takes off or you get a promotion or you strike oil? Hashem will deliver it how He chooses to deliver it. He also recommended we say Parshas Haman more often, but not because it's a Zgula, but because it reminds us that Hashem provides for every Jew like He did in the Midbar, etc. Binyamin Beinish rose from Manchester. He says, Ishkoyach for everything. You're making my chazar. Israel continue to be Mitzliach and continue to be a source of inspiration to thousands of you who listen to you and get a Geshmak of Torah because of you. The daf has really changed my life and my family's life. It's Shmak to do the daf. Binyamin Beinish rose, Manchester. What's noch? Should we do one more? Why not? Okay, let's finish them off. I've been with you since the end of Yuma, while making my first seam ever from Maseches Sukkah was a great accomplishment. Even greater is the impact this year and your presence had on our family. My oldest two boys, I think I might have read this. Maybe there's another one. Same exact thing. His older two boys, 9 and 10, both officially joined the shir. We all celebrated together. This is especially a big deal for us since we live in Bat Ayin. It's 30 minutes away. All right, Rabbi Yisai, here we go. Today is Daf Yud Gimel. And we are holding, believe it or not, on top of Yud Gimel, 4 lines down. And I have a question for the Olam. What halacha is brought down in Shulchan Aruch based on Haman? Anybody know the answer? Anybody? Aminu. Halacha based on Haman. Okay, we're going to learn today. Let's see if when we learn it, you'll be able to point it out. Says the Gemara, Rabbi Yochanan Omar, we're talking about Mordechai. It says in the pasuk, Ish Yehudi, Ish Yemini. What was he? Was he from Binyamin or was he from Yehuda? Rabbi Yochanan Omar, Lo Elam Binyamin Kasi. No, he was really from Binyamin. V'amai Karle Yehudi, Ashum Shekofar Ba'aved Zara. Anybody, even though he's not from Yehuda, but if you don't believe in Avodah Zarah, you consider Yehudi. Shekal Koifer Ba'aved Zara, Nikra Yehudi, K'dichsiv. Isai Gufrin Yudayin, but you must go to the end of the pasuk, and here's the end of the pasuk. It says, "Uletzelem dahava," and to the golden getchka diakemeta lo yisagidon. I don't bow to that. So you're a Yehudayin if you do this. Uletzelem lo yisagidon. Rabbi Shimon Pazi kava pasuk b'divrei hayomim omar hachi. So it's very interesting. Rashi says on the spot. Oh, the sponsors. We got to Yosef, you got to remind me about the sponsors. Let's see. Let's see if I can find them here. This new mahalach of doing the things first. Okay, Paras HaChodesh for the Koilel is Chayim, Lilu Nishmas Yeshua Aryeh Leib HaKoyim Ben Yonis and Chayim, Maseches Megillah, Davis and Kessler family is zechus. For Rosh Hashana for Miriam Esther, Devora, Maseches Megillah sponsored by Shmuly Hecht F245. Is that a sponsor here? Yes. I see another sponsor that says F245 all the way on the bottom. Mordechki, Shloimy Fischer, Piנחas, Tovia, zechus Rocha Ben Avraham Moshe Peretz. In honor of R97 Akiva Tepper for introducing me to Rebelli's Daf. Paras HaChodesh, Daniel Cyril Cohen, zechus Refuah shleima for Gabriel Ben Yomim Ben Cyril Fruma. Shloimy Fischer, in honor of the Kiddush of my newborn Einikel. Mazel Tov. This year is sponsored by F245's brother. In honor of her grandmother, Chana Ester, Bas Rochel, she should have a Refuah shleima and be zechus to have Arichas Yomim B'Shanim. It's unbelievable, these Fs. I'm F245's brother. I know F245. I'm F245's cousin. Kitzer, us Nebachs don't have numbers. Fine. Reb Shimon Pazi, what? I know Hillel Abrams. He's Ramat Bet Shemesh 1. He started Ramat Bet Shemesh Hatzalah. Benzi Novak is 1. I made that up. But weren't you the first guy? He chopped the number from you. Betsy taught you. Okay, what an honor. It's fascinating that Divrei Hayamim could tell you a pasuk with 10 names. In fact, it's only talking about one person, and each name hints to something else. These are ways to hide certain secrets in the Torah. And we're going to go through one pasuk that shows us just that. We know how to understand this pasuk, even though you're talking about one person. It says in the pasuk. Let's see if I have it here. I mean, because it does say it in the Gemara, but no. Okay, good. I wasn't that big of a shayt. Okay. It says like this. V'ishtoi hayudiya. We're going to see v'ishtoi hayudiya is referring to Basya. What do we have Basya? This week's parasha, this morning. So Ishtoi hayudiya, Yolda es Yered Avigdor.
The only time in Shas that Basya appears, and it appears on the same day that we laid it in this week's parasha. No, it's not a trillion.
It's the only time in Shas that she appears. Says Rabbi, what? No, David is numbers. For that you have to go to the Belz Chassid. It's the only time in Shas. Look it up right now. Look it up. Vishta Yudia Yoldas Yered Avigidor Veshever Avi Soichoi. It's the day we learned it, is the day we have it in the Daf. Unbelievable. Who? Oh. Avi Gidor. But that's not what it says. It says Avi Gidor. Fine. Avi Gidor. Vishta Yudia Yoldas Yered. So that's one name of Moshe Rabbeinu. Avigdor, the father Gedor. Veshever, another name for Moshe Rabbeinu. I'm just telling you, I'm just jumping forward to tell you what's going on as we're reading the pasuk. Avi Soichoi. Vesikusil, that's also a name for Moshe Rabbeinu. Avi Zonoyach. So you're reading this pasuk, you have no clue. You think you know what's going on. Vishta Yudia, a Jewish wife he had, she gave birth to this one. No, we're talking about Basya and we're talking about Moshe Rabbeinu. That's it. Veila b'nei Bisya, all of a sudden talks about Basya. Bas Paroi, here, the daughter of Paroi. Ashalokach, Mared. Now Mared is referring to Kalev ben Yehuda. Says Gemara, my korila Yudia, Ashum shekafar b'Avodah Zarah. We just said pshat that when you deny Avodah Zarah, you're a Yehudi. She denied her father's Avodah Zarah. D'chsiv, here it is. Vatered Bas Paroi lirchoitz al hayor. She went. It's unbelievable if you think about it. Just think for a second. Here's Paroi. He's going to get rid of all the Jews. He's going to get rid of all the Jews. He has a great plan. What is he going to do? He's going to take all the boys and drown them, a whole thing. What does HaKadosh Baruch Hu do? He plays with him. He makes Paroi find Moshe Rabbeinu and bring him up in his own palace, take care of him, now pay somebody to nurse him. It's unbelievable. Think about it. Here he is trying to destroy the Jews, and he himself is why we were redeemed from Mitzrayim. He himself took care of our Redeemer, Moshe Rabbeinu. It's unbelievable. What does it mean? She went to bathe. Who cares what she did? No, it's very important. She's done with Avodah Zarah. Yolda. What do you mean she gave birth to Rabuya Rabisei? She only brought him up. She didn't give birth to Moshe Rabbeinu. If you bring up a Yisoima or Yasam in your house, it's as if literally you brought him up. I once had an opportunity to adopt a Yasam here in Bet Shemesh, and I said okay. And then luckily he gave it to somebody else. And then like 2 years later he had Charata, and he grabbed this kid away, and the guy that adopted was very upset. It was all so Baruch Hashem, I wasn't involved. What? You're a Yasam? Chas v'shalom. I already adopted you, Avi. Kilu Yilada. Yered, what? Not Avi Kamyansky never asked that I should adopt him. Everybody knows which Avi I'm talking about, Avi. Don't worry about it. Just like the certain times I say Hillel, everybody knows which Hillel. I didn't mean Hillel Kamyansky's RBS 1. Everybody knows. They chop already. Those who listen to Shir know. Yered ze Moshe. So one of the names we said here is Yered. It means Moshe Rabbeinu. Why is Yered? She Yered lem li Yisrael mon biyama. Because of him, mon fell. Gedar she Godar pitziseim she Yisrael. He brought the Torah down, so he's called a Geder. He fenced in the preachers of the things that Klal Yisrael need to be fenced in. Chaver shechiber Yisrael avim sheb'shamayim. He connected Klal Yisrael. Connection. There's no better way to connect with HaKadosh Baruch Hu through Torah. He connected them to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Soichai shenaslam Yisrael kesuka. Again, protection. Yikusiel shekivu Yisrael lokel biyamav. Klal Yisrael was, what's the word? No. Hoping for, was waiting for, desired HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Very good. Zenoyach. So anyways, we see from this pasuk, word after word after word is referring to Moshe Rabbeinu, and it's all in hints. You have to know how to darshan it. Zenoyach, shizniach haveni seim shel Yisrael. He got rid of the averos that Klal Yisrael. He davened HaKadosh Baruch Hu, he should forgive them. Says the Gemara, it says in that pasuk, Avi, Avi, Avi. 3 times it says, my father. What does it mean? Of Bat Torah, of Bechachma, of Berevios. He's our father in Torah, the father in Chachma, the father. He's the greatest Navi. Vele b'nei Bisya shelokach mared v'chi mered Shmoy v'aloi kol Shmoy. It's called ben Yifuna. How do we know this? So it actually points out, because of a couple of psukim before that it says, Ubnei Kolev ben Yifuna. So it's talking about Kolev. So then obviously Mered must be Kolev. So then why do we call him Mered? V'chi mered Shmoy v'kol Shmoy. Kolev, who is the one that put his foot down and he says, no, I'm not going with the Meraglim. Again, it's Mida connected Mida. The whole thing is, he acted like this, she acted like that, they acted the same. HaKadosh Baruch Hu put them both together. Asher haglo Yerushalayim. Asher haglo Shalayim. Imagelo. I really think, seriously, I think that Tomer is going to do this. I don't want to say his name again, so I'm not going to say this is it. But maybe we should do like a little Megillah. Somebody can work on it, not me. A little Megillah with all the pshatim from the Gemara in there, like at least the first psukim, and then give it out at the Siyam. That'll be a nice giveaway. Those who went to Golos went to Golos. Mordechai didn't have to go to Golos, but he decided to go by himself. Reminds me of the famous Rebbe Chana Wasserman. Like, he didn't have to. He was saved. He was ready in America. He went back. Some say, I think the Rif says, there's a little chibur here from your neighbor, Gross, Michal Gross. He put out just on this daf, a little thing, brings basically a lot of the pshatim that are on the daf. But I think this one is also in there. The Rif says, because he wanted to be together with the Sanhedrin. The Sanhedrin were in Golos. He's part of the Sanhedrin, the 71. He wanted to learn Torah with them. Who he's going to learn with? There's nobody left. Via remain es Hadassah. Says the Gemara, Karla Hadassah for Karla Esther. What's her name? Is her name Hadassah or her name Esther? So we have Machloikes. Her real name is Esther. Why is she Hadass? That smells good. Al Shem at Tzadikim Shenikru Hadassim. She's a tzaddikus, so she's called Hadassah. V'oimed ben Hadassim. Hadass, I think the Ben Yoyada says Hadass is something in Olam HaEmes. There's no eating, but there's good. The smells you could smell. That's ruchnius. So tzaddikim are something that you could smell. Rabbi Yehuda Omer Hadassah Shmo v'lo menikra Shmo Esther. The opposite. Her name really is Hadassah. So why do they call her Esther? Hashem shoysa masteres Devora. In other words, Shenemar in Esther Magedes Zama Besmilato. Achashverosh couldn't get it out of her. She hid who she is. Nobody knew that she's Jewish. So she was Behester. Rabbi Chemia Omer Hadassah Shmo v'lo menikra Esther. Shahayu umas ha'olam koyer noisa ashum istahar. They'll say, oh, she's as beautiful as the moon. Esther, she wasn't too tall, she wasn't too short. She was in between. Like a Hadass tree. Esther, famous Gemara. Esther was Yirak. Now, when we learned brachas and throughout Shas, Yirak, the article always says yellow. I think over here he says green. But the guy says it can't be green. The human beings aren't green. It means at the end of the day, she was beautiful, one of the most beautiful people in the world, as the Gemara is going to tell us. But because she was bitzar and everything, so she started coming down with some sort of yellowness. He says, but not jaundice as much as she was bitzar. She was in Achashverosh's house. She was. We're going to see. She was married, a married woman. She got chapped to the king, so she started turning colors. No.
More like brick.
Oh, this I'm not going to mention what you just mentioned, but whoever heard what he said, you could be even if you say she's really ugly, it's a nasty green. HaKadosh Baruch Hu has the way to put a chut shel chesed, like a certain chain in a person, no matter what they look like. So it says once that she didn't have a father or a mother. So then why do you have to repeat that she didn't have a father and a mother? We know she didn't have a father. When her mother became pregnant, that minute, Avi, maybe we could get the guys in the back chairs over there. It's a little bit of a problem. We don't have Yeshua. Back in the day, he would. We have one chair here. No more chairs, B'chlal? No, let them go over. Oh, come over. Come, sit, come. Anyway, when the mother got pregnant, I think everybody should turn around and look at these new guys. Be Vaishnav a little bit. Why not? Come on. Come. Chas v'shalom. Oh, it's Ozzy. Shalom aleichem. What? Put on tefillin. Here's the kid that was in the hospital. And with being in the hospital, what did he have? Surgery he had? His ear surgery. With that, he did the daf. Beautiful. Ozzy. Not even bar mitzvah. Started putting on film. As soon as her mother became pregnant, the father died. She never got to see her father for a second. During childbirth, the mother died. So she never was zechus to see not her mother, not her father's saddest story. So there's an orphan. He's related. He takes her as a daughter. He married her. He didn't take her as a daughter. We're talking about Uriah that he was married to Bathsheba and tells him to David, he doesn't have anything. He has one, as a marshal to David. What are you doing? Why are you taking Bathsheba? All he has in his life is one little lamb. So over there, obviously he's talking about his wife. So kivas, like a daughter, is not talking about a daughter, is talking about a wife. Because she's sitting in his lap, so that it becomes like a daughter. Ella kibayis, like a wife. I saw that Eitz Yosef says. So then why doesn't it say in the Megillah that he married her? Why does it say kivas? It's very, very simple. He says Achashverosh was still alive when they wrote the Megillah. He'd be really annoyed if it says in the Megillah that she was married to another man. And everything here that goes on the Gemara, she used to sneak out, go back to Mordechai, this, that. So they wrote it beremes. Ve'eis sheva na'aros. She had 7 servants. Omarava shoysa moina b'em yimei Shabbos. For whatever reason, it's interesting. It was difficult. She didn't have an iPhone. She didn't have a calendar. How's she going to know when Shabbos is? So what she did was, and some even say, how is she going to know when Shkia is? So she had 7 servants. This one is Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and then she had the Shabbos servant. So when the Shabbos servant would come in, let's say right by Shkia, they had to flip out. Oh, she knew right away it's Shabbos. And another thing is that the servants saw her working all week long. But the one from Shabbos never saw her working, so she never thought for a second that she's Jewish. She said, oh, she's a lazy queen, and she doesn't work. The other ones didn't chap, because each one was a different day. So that's how she figured out when Shabbos was. Vayishanea ve'es narisel. Hagai, Sarisa, what is it called? Sarisa, whatever. Hagai. He changed it. What did he change? Omarav she'echilo machal Yehudi. He gave her kosher. How did he know that she wasn't Jewish? Nobody knew she was Jewish. So I think the Ben Yoda says that he did know that she came from Mordechai, who was Jewish, and she was used to eating kosher food. So he gave her kosher food. Ushmuel Omar she'echilo kodlei de chaziri. I don't even know if we should say davar acher or PIG. You have to know what she ate. She ate treif chazer, pork. So Rashi says, but how can you eat? she didn't get an einish. She was forced. Taisus says, if you look at Taisus, chas v'shalom. Impossible that she ate it. The chas v'shalom, okay. He argues on Rashi. She ate seeds all day long. She ate arbes. She ate different chveis, pitzuchim, whatever it was. She ate seeds. V'cheinu oimer v'yi hameltzar noiseis pas bogom v'noisen lem zeroinim. So this is referring to by Chana Ester v'Azariah, by Daniel. The king was trying to bring up these kids from different nations and see who's more chashiv, who's smarter. So they gave them chazer and everything, and they said, no, we're not going to eat it. So he said, give us kosher food. He said, I can't give you kosher food, because if you get kosher food, they're going to kill me. He said, try us for a few days, and we'll see. So he started giving them these seeds, and they were better, they're stronger, everything was good. So you see that tzaddikim, they could live off of seeds, so too Esther. Here, I have here, I don't know if this is the real thing or not. I found this online, you could look it up. Shemen Hamor. Mor. There's a real thing. Pure, 100% pure essential oil. Mir. Myrrh. Look it up. Rabbi Chia Barab Omar Stochas. It's Shemen Zayis. No, this is balsam. Stochas is balsam. Ravuna Omar Shemen Zayis Shlehevi Shlish. It's special Shemen Zayis that it's from olives that didn't grow a third yet. Tanya Rabbi Doimer and Pokinoin. We had this also in the Gemara. I forgot what Maseches Shemen Zayis Shlehevi Shlish. V'lo Masachin Oizayishim Masher Saseyor Ma'adin Sabasor. And Pokin, we see the same idea. This shlish, this olive oil that didn't have a third yet. And it's good to remove here and also softens up the skin. From how disgusting he acted with all these women that he had over there. Bring them in, violate them, send them home, never see them again. But you could still see a good thing in him, because it says that only at night. It's interesting. The Ben Yoda says it's wild. But it's my job to bring all the wild stuff. Ben Yoda says that Esther Amalka, I don't know if he argues on the Gemara or not. Obviously not. The Gemara says, how is Esther with Achashverosh? Karka Oilo, we're going to get to it. She didn't do anything. But the Ben Yoda says in the name of the Arizal. Okay, so I take it back. This is Arizal. This is really, really strong. The Arizal says that Esther made a shade that looked like her, and he was with the shade. And he brings this Gemara that a shade could only exist at night. This koyach of shadim is only at night. And here's a raya because it wouldn't work during the day. So that's how we know it wasn't during the day. But I was trying to break my head here. What is going on here? It's like the guy is a ritzayach. He killed 400 people, but he's mamish. He's makbid on gebrux, or he's makbid on chol stam. He's mamish. We find the Mardikah guy. He killed. He's mamish a killer. Chol stam. He doesn't need her. What's going on here? No, but I don't know if this is an akudah or not. I'm just throwing this out there. Do whatever you want with it. After thinking for 2 minutes, this is what I came up with. The best I could come up with. That it's our job. When a person, you see something, we always judge people. Even in the worst situation, there's always something positive that you can find in your children when they misbehave, in your friends, even in that. Okay, Zazach, even a Meshuggah like this, the biggest Russia, taking all these people and doing terrible things to them. Yeah. The food is kosher, but the venue is treif. No, I'm not going to be Melamed Zechus on that. I don't know, okay, whatever. Fine, you could be Melamed Zechus on that. Everybody can be Melamed Zechus on their own thing. We only buy a kosher meat. We will talk afterwards, yeah. Zog the Gemara. Vati Esther noises chein, Omer Belaze, Omer Beliezer, Melamed shel kol echad ve'echad nidmusa loikuma. So we had this, that Esther was able to look like each nation. Because people love their own nation. Oh, another Yid, another this. So she looked like everybody thought that she belonged to them. What's the significance in Teves? Also interesting, Teves is a cold month. So Rashi says, Akash Baruch Hu wanted that HaKadosh Baruch Hu wanted that Achashverosh should take her. So he did all these things that he should like her. And one of the things was that it was very cold. And a guf, he needed the heat, the body heat. So if he's going to compare it to somebody he was with 4 months ago, Esther would win. And in fact, she won. If that's his taiva, that's what he felt. Tambula tam. So the Vilna Gaon's grandson, I think, asked the kasha. Why does he need to taste this, to have this? Whatever he likes. Let's say he likes psula, so psula. What's the two things? So he says very, very stark. He says when it comes to taivas, and this we can learn for ourselves, when it comes to taivas, whatever you have, you want the other thing. So he kept on switching back and forth. You have this, you want that. No, that. Okay, fine. Just Vayas hamelech mishte gadol. Ovad mishte v'lo galilei. So again, Esther was hiding who she was. She was Jewish. So he tried to convince her. It's also all the whole thing is a bunch of nisim. What he was the king. She was scared to even walk in there. He had a big staff. He could have. If he didn't touch it, he could kill her. All of a sudden, now I'm not going to tell you. The king could say, if you don't tell me, I'm going to kill you. No, he tried to convince her nicely with a meal. She didn't tell him. Dali krogo galile. So he took away the taxes in her name. Rabbi say, we hear everything down here. Ovad mishtov legalile dali krog legalile. Also in her honor, to put some pressure on her. Look, I'm not taking any taxes. Shodar padishne legalile. I'm sending all these gifts to these chashuva people. Sorry, no. It's unbelievable. He went to Mordechai without realizing what's going on here, that he's related. He gave a bad eitzah. Omar. So Mordechai tells him, what's the worst thing for a woman? Marry another woman. So I have an idea. Go get another wife. Get another wife. She'll be jealous and she'll tell you. Why did he do it exactly? Is we have to understand. Maybe he wanted her to get out of there. Maybe whatever it was, he had a cheshbon. Even though he did another round, didn't scare her. She wouldn't say. Daf Amud Beis. Is not going to take away his eyes from the tzaddik. Think about it. Rachel was a tzenua so many years before, many years later. Because Baruch doesn't forget and gives us in the same midah connected midah, the same way she was tzenua, so too was Shaul. Yatzam meno Shaul u'b'schar tznius shahaya boy b'Shaul zocha v'yatzam meno Esther, and then Shaul in return, because he was tzenua, Esther came out of him. Sponsored by Aaron Stroock in honor of my parents Josh and Naomi Stroock and zechus nishmas Aaron ben Shimon HaKohen, and in honor of Rabbi Mrs. Avraham Yaakov and Sarah Levine by the children. What was the tznius? Okay, so we're not talking about the tznius that we're familiar with. Tznius, you have to wear shirt up the hair and cover the knees, like that the Menahela told me when I first came to Israel. I had a meeting with a high school principal here, and she said, "No, how's your daughter's tznius?" And I said, she goes, "Over here, we're very makbid. Tznius bekalat nuos." I'm like, "What? Bekalat nuos?" I'm like, "I don't know what that is, but I'm sure my daughter is very makbid." She goes, Rabbi Yashiv, she didn't even know how to say Rabbi Yashiv. Rabbi Yashiv says that it has to be bekalat nuos. I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, even when they're walking up the steps, it has to be mamish 5 centimeters below the knee. And even this, and I said, this is the principal of my daughter's school at Shem Yirachim. We'll go to the next school. That's what she cared. Like, she didn't ask anything. What she knows, nothing. You mark me to call it to us. Yeah, okay. Call it nuos. Shkoyach. Now I'm going to get 110 emails. Yeah. You have to remark me call it nuos. It's very important. Okay. No, there's my niece was in a school in Yerushalayim that the Mora has a tape measure. Not a joke. They come around, they check how many centimeters below not the knee, below the knee. Because if Chas v'Shalom, you make a tenua, this is a tenua. So you got to make sure that it goes, whatever. I'm saying it's all good, but if that's the only focus all day long, what are these girls going to have? What's going to happen to them when they get married? You see what happens. Call it tenuas. Yeah. Okay. I don't know why I said this. Now I'm going to get it. All those guys in Lakewood, we're done. We thought we're going to use the share. It was a very good share up until the Tnuas. My wife is a principal and she's makbid on call Tnuas. You're out of here. You're shagets. Okay. So again, what's the tznius? Of course, Rachel was makbid on call Tnuas. But she had a different tznius. We're talking about the tznius of keeping a secret. He's not, Yaakov wasn't Rachel's brother's he wasn't her uncle. Ben achois aviyahu. Ella Omarla. Mitzvahly. You just met her. Could we get married? Omarle in. Umiu abaramo. You're not going to be able to overcome my father, the chakran. He's a liar. Now, I saw a whole thing about it. Are you allowed to say something like that about your own father? Your father is a chakran. Can you talk like that? The whole nidan. And whatever, l'chari, yes. But a guy is not really mechuyev in kibbud aveim. But Rav Moshe Feinstein says a beautiful thing. I thought it was very, very important. That a guy is mechuyev on hakaras hatov. Not on kibbud aveim. What about hakaras hatov? This guy brought you up, fed you all these years. Have a little decency, have a little hakaras hatov. Omar lo ochiv ano b'ramo. So we're asking, what, a brother? Yeah. Brother in the way he lies. I could also lie just like him. Omar le umishar le tzaddik l'zgui b'ram yuso. What, you allowed to lie? Omar lo in. Im nover tetabar, v'im ikesh tetapol. If a person is pure, you act with pureness. If a person is a rasha, I even saw once a tshuva that if somebody puts out a fake document to get your house or something, so you could put out a fake document also. There's a heter lahalacha to imikesh tetapol, whatever. And also, like, it always reminds me this. I don't know why this sticks. That Rabbi Victor Miller was walking the street, and if you lived in New York, you know exactly what I'm talking about. This car drives by with the windows down, and the guy goes, whatever, curses him. He turned around and cursed him right back in his lashon, and he says, "In ikish tetapol." That's how he cursed. He says, the guy asked him, "Where is Hitler Street?" So he said, whatever, I don't want to say. Ketzer. In ikish tetapol. Omar la, umayram you say. So why does he have to lie? Omar le isli achasa de kashisha minoi. I have a sister that's older than me. And he's not going to marry me off before. So the famous Gemara, Mosala Simanim. He taught her Simanim. I thought it's interesting because some people say the Simanim war Hilchas Nida. And now a lot of people, Mamish tonight, they're starting Hilchas Nida because of Shoyavim. There's a lot of shiurim going around. Mosala Simanim, that's one place in our Gemara that we have it. Kimat Lelia Amra. Hashta Mikasfa Achasai. You think about it, it's unbelievable musar that she's waiting 7 years to marry this person, and they have all the signs and everything's going to go good. It's the big chasana. She has the dress and all the preparation of the chasana. And then it hits her that her sister will stand there by the chuppah, embarrassed, almost like me with Mati. What's his name? He lives here in Ramat Shemesh. Not Middle Door. It's my friend from Chayim Berlin. I went to his chasana and I got. No, what's his name? I haven't seen him in a long time. And he doesn't come to the shir, so I forgot his name. I was a little bit of his shatchan, so he gave me a kibbud. I told you this story 1,000 times. He gave me a kibbud at the chuppah to be Eid Kiddushin. I was 19 years old or something. So I got up then under the chuppah, mamish this Gemara. And the Rosh Hashiva is saying gesund stark. He didn't realize that the microphone is on. He goes, "You're Puzzle Eidos, get down." Mikasva Chasoi, little busha didn't hurt anybody. I remember I wasn't mevuyish b'chlal. I was smacking my friend's five as I was going down the aisle. I never stood on the chuppah in my life. I was like, I got to just a friend of the chosin, Eli Stefansky, like, yeah, I got to keep on. Okay, this is mevayish me. But Lamais, I got up there, everybody's watching me walk up. I was there on the chuppah. That's how I'm a sugar. A little covet is doicha a lot of busha. I'm sure. Moti, go ask this Moti guy. I know where he is. I'll find his. He lives here in Mabit Shemesh.
Were you running a gambling
No, he didn't let his daughter go to that.
I didn't go to. Oh, you better seriously. You have to erase that part. Those words, please erase. That was lashon hara. Okay. Seriously, write it down. It's 8:22. You have to ignore that. I hope you didn't understand what I'm saying. So she gave her all the signs. Yaakov Avinu wakes up. What's going on here? It's a different person. He had no idea under the chuppah that he's marrying Leah. Because Rachel was quiet and she didn't tell anybody that there were even simanim. She didn't say anything. Because of that, tznios came out shalom. What did he hide? Asher Omar Shmuly. He didn't tell anybody about him being a king. Miriam Esther. So Mela from Shol came Esther. When Hakadosh Baruch decides that this person will be a gadol, his sons and his grandsons and Doris, they remain bigdula. Shenemar like a rebbe and the son of a rebbe. Kids goes generation. Shenemar v'yishivim lo netzach, forever yigbo, and they'll be uplifted. But if there's a little gaiva, he puts him right back down. What's the end of the pasuk? Wow, it's one of these dapim that have 100%. What? I don't know what you said, but okay, I believe you. Yilachtun? Oh, Yilachtun. I can't see it. It's too small for me. Yeah, anybody have glasses? Okay, whatever. It's fine. No. Okay. Chas v'shalom. No, I don't need. So here again, this idea of Motzi Shabbos, of Shovavim, she would ask the Chachamim about Nida. Kasher hoisa b'amna itoy. Omer Rabbi Bar Limo, shoysa imedes meichego shel Achashverosh v'toivelas. She would be in Achashverosh's hand and then go be toivel v'yusheves b'chego shel Mordechai and then go to her husband Mordechai. Why would she be toivel? Says Rashi, to get rid of the zuama from discussing. So Mordechai shouldn't be disgusted with her. Not tfilas mitzvah, but just a shower. Bayom mehem Mordechai yoshev b'shar melech kotzav biksam v'seresh. Omer Rabbi Chia bar Abba Omer Rabbi Yochanan iktzif HaKadosh Baruch Hu Odin al Avodav la'ases ritzoin tzadik umanu Yosef. HaKadosh Baruch Hu made Paroi upset at the Sarah Mashkim, Sarah Oifim, which was Shaloi Kederech HaTeva. If you think about it, why was he so upset? So there's a little fly. So you're going to throw a guy in jail for 20 years because there's a fly, a little there, a little stone. Come on. So yes. Because HaKadosh Baruch Hu, everything he does has a cheshbon, and the cheshbon was that they should meet Yosef, and 2 years later he's going to come out. So the same thing happened over here. Shenemar v'shomiton ivri. Avodim al-dinayim lasis neis latzadik. Why did Bixon and Seresh get so upset? Why kill Achashverosh? Umanu Mordechai. D'siv ha'ivod ha'adov el Mordechai. Rabbi Yochanan, Bixon and Seresh. But by the way, the famous Meiser, Rabbi Yonatan when he was a small kid, his father asked him, why did Mordechai try to save Achashverosh? One bad guy left, and knock off one bad guy. What's the big deal? Let him die. So he said, yeah, but he'd rather knock off two guys. Bixon and Seresh. That was his little vart. Okay. They were speaking their language. We don't have enough sleep. Says Rashi, I'll just read Rashi. They were in charge of the water, you need a lot of water. So we couldn't get any sleep. Let's kill him. So again, this is because the guy kept you up at night, so that's why you're going to kill him. No, HaKadosh Baruch Hu wanted Mordechai to hear it, and Mordechai is going to save the king, and because he's going to save the king, Klal Yisrael is going to have a geula. Lishkas Hagazos, I don't have the thing here, but he was in the Beis Hamikdash. That's where the Sanhedrin sat. In other words, in order to be part of the Sanhedrin, you had to at least understand 70 languages. And he knew 70 languages. I don't know where it is over here, but I believe it's like over here. Lishkas Hagazos. What? Somewhere over here. Okay, look, I don't have the chart. I was talking about the chart, not the actual Beis Hamikdash. Fine. So the two of them are discussing. We do different things. You know what? I'll take care of both of our jobs. How did they catch on to what's going on here? They saw that one of them was not at his post where he was supposed to be, and they realized there was something going on. After what? It's very interesting that Akash Baruch Hu created the antidote for this zechus. There's always the medicine readily available for Klal Yisrael. That's not how he does it with the rest. If it's ready, it's right here, it's much easier to get to, but if you have to create it, it's a different story. So here's the pasuk. It's kind of small, I guess, the words. But it starts off by Mordechai, then it goes to Am Mordechai, and then it says Kol HaYehudim. So the Gemara says it's actually three things. Vayivez bein of Haman he desired to destroy Mordechai, kill him. But then he wanted he wanted to kill the Rabbanan. All the Jews. He pil puru agoyrel tana kivin shenava pur b'chodesh adar samach simcha gdoila. Haman was very excited. Why? This is the perfect month. Moshe Rabbeinu, let's see who's calling me now. The bell zechus is calling me. Should we listen to him? Here, hold on a second. Put him on speaker. He does a chapsh. Hello? Ja. I get the Voch, was outside? Huh? לא קיבלתי. אבל אני באמצע השיעור עכשיו. אפשר להתקשר יותר מאוחר?
כן, אני נשקול טוב, שלום.
גזעי גזעון. All right. What are we calling him? Basio. Okay, let's call him back. It's never been done before. There's always. Here we go. On. Anybody have a kasha? Seriously, anybody have a kasha in Gemara? Any kasha you want? Yeah, but what else? Hello, Menachem Mendel. תגיד, בש"ס, איפה מוזכר בסיו בכל הש"ס?
לא שומע מילה?
בכל הש"ס, איפה מוזכר בסיו? בסיו. איך חסידים אומרים את זה? בסיו, בסיו. נו, יש את זה בש"ס?
זה אמור להיות בסוף ברוכס, בסוגיה שם של השניים, של...
בסוף ברוכס, בסוגיה של...
של השיניים של אוי שהתאחרו, אבל לא נראה לי שעוד חוץ מזה.
אבל כתוב את המילה בסיו שמה?
לא מוזכר, אין... לא זכור שכתוב את המילה בסיו עצמה, מוזכר גם כמסויציה, אבל לא כתוב מפורש את המילה בסיו, אני יודע שפה כתוב ביסיו.
כאן כתוב ביסיו, כן, אבל כתוב מפורש באיזשהו מקום ביסיו? לא.
לא ראיתי איזשהו מקום בסיו.
He says in the sugya of Oig Melech HaBashan, it mentions, but it doesn't say her name. This is the only place it says their name. And then Saita. He hung up on me. Okay. He heard English. Dvar b'teilim. He has to go back to learning. Okay, so you're right. You could do a search on Bar Ilan, but here it's better than Bar Ilan. He's quicker. Before you finish asking the question, he tells you. All right, Tona, give me another pur b'chodesh Adar samach simcha gdola. Omar nofali pur b'yerech shemeis by Moshe. This is the month that Moshe Rabbeinu was nifter. V'loihoya yoideya. Rabbi said, when do we read this? Shebeshiva ba'adar meis, shebeshiva ba'adar noilad. L'maisa, this he was born. Moshe Rabbeinu was born in our parsha. How do we know that it's the same day? Rashi brings okay, the day he was nifter, that's the day that he was born. And Memela, so it's not as sad as it could have been, Adar, because also Moshe Rabbeinu was born on that day. Haman was the most professional Lashon Haranik in the world. Let's go destroy Klal Yisrael. He tells Achashverosh, let's kill them. He says, no, but I'm worried. Achashverosh is smart. Look what he did to Belshazzar. He wore his clothing, that day he died. Look what happened to Nebuchadnezzar. Look at all these people. It's not worth it. They're sleeping at the wheel. They're not doing mitzvahs. It's the mitzvahs that save them. Without the mitzvahs, no. But at the end of the day, they have Rabbanon. So what if they're sleeping? But the Rabbanim are good. The Rabbanon, unfortunately, they get punished with the rest of Klal Yisrael. Maybe. So this is Rashi says, we don't know, we never heard what Achashverosh says, but we could see from the questions, from the answers that Haman is saying, we know what Achashverosh was asking him. So what are you concerned? That you're going to have a bald spot in the middle, like there's going to be like a whole city dead, like nobody there? Don't worry about it. The Jews, one lives here, one lives there, they're everywhere. Maybe they do something good for us? No. They're like a mule. Mules, they don't have any offspring, they're worthless. They're different than all the nations. They don't eat from us. They don't marry us. They don't let our daughters marry them. They don't let our sons marry kids. They don't marry into us. I thought this is very interesting. Maybe we should see Rashi Mamish inside. Where was this Rashi? Here. The Hungarians, because they try to evade taxes. That's how I learned it. Sorry. So I just insulted the Persians, insulted the Hungarians. My wife is actually Hungarian. Baruch Hashem. No, this is a thing going on for generations. Yidden, tax evasion. Listen to this. The mapki lekula shato b'shihi pihi. In other words, and this is what? You got to cut everything. Today's a lot of cutting. Shabbos hayoim, Pesach hayoim. That's all. They always say you have a yontif, they have a this, they have a that. It's Chanukah, I can't work on Chanukah. L'melech neshoma la'anicham. Sanhedrin Daf Yomi Beis Yoldas Yod Bnei Basi B'Svar Shalokach. And Sanhedrin Amud Aleph in Rashi, in Gemara. It's in Gemara.
Wasn't the bells who said that, right?
No. Sanhedrin, what? Yeah, Yosef sent it? Okay, it is one time in Shas. We got to take off some of his money from Kailal. Okay. That's by us. That's a Megillah. Okay. It's not worth it. Listen to this. Even if a fly falls into your cup, he'll throw out the fly and you can drink from it. So this is the halacha that we learn from Haman. Haman said this halacha, and it's brought down in Shulchan Aruch that if a fly falls into your cup, you're allowed to throw it out and drink the rest of the cup. Based on this. But if you touch the wine, then they can't drink it, they'll throw it out. So I don't remember which Rav it was. There's a Rav that was very close to the king. And one of the Misharsim over there told the king, if you touch his wine, he won't be able to drink it. He's not even your friend. So the king asked him, he said, no, is it true? If I touch the wine, you can't drink it? No, what would you do? What would you do? It's a problem. So he said, listen, I'm asking the king to wash his feet right now. Wash your feet. So he washed his feet and he took the water and he drank it. He says, I'll drink the dirty water from your feet. But the wine, I have a halacha, nothing to do with you. I love you. We have a religion that says he can't touch it. That's what he did. I forgot who it was. Because of La'avdim Aseres Alofim Kika Kesef, Omer Shlokish, Goliv Yidu Alef Nei Misha Omer Vayoilam Shased Haman Lishkol Shkolim Al Yisrael. Again, back to this Midah Keneged Midah. Haman took Aseres Alofim shekel, 10,000 shekel. The Ficha Chigdim Shikleim Shkola Bakadosh Baruch Hu put in the Torah. So you wonder, why does everybody have to bring a half a shekel? To counteract this act of Haman. Vaynisnan, right? My favorite Masechta and Shkolim. Bechod Ba'adar Mashmim Ala Shkolim Vala Klaim. First day of Adar, they announce everybody bring a half a shekel so we can buy korbanos. If you have Klaim, two types of like vegetable growing together to wheat, you have to uproot it. You know what? We'll stop right over here. Rabbi Sai, have a wonderful week. Tomorrow morning, 7:15 sharp.